Well, hello there, my loves. How are you doing today? Hope you're really good. Welcome to my channel and thank you for watching my video. Today's video comes in response to a question from Michelle on Instagram. And Michelle asks, what do you mean by boundaries and how can having them help me? Now, I can understand why this has come up as a topic and as a question, because it's something that I do talk quite a lot and post quite a lot about on Instagram. And that's because boundaries are something that are so important to have, they're so important to understand, and they're really important to know about and actually enforce your own boundaries. And the reason why I find that it's actually a really important topic for me is because for a long time it was something that I didn't understand and have any knowledge about what boundaries were and why they were so important. So if that's something that you're interested in, and if perhaps you keep getting into the wrong relationships or you stay in relationships where you get hurt or you feel hurt, but you stay in those relationships for longer than probably you should do, or perhaps you spend a lot of your time doing things with other people that they want to do rather than doing things and asking for your decisions and choices to be considered, then it could be that you don't have an understanding of your own boundaries, or you're perhaps struggling to enforce those boundaries. And if that's the case, then this is a video that's going to be really interesting for you. So maybe you find it difficult to make decisions, maybe you find it difficult to ask for your needs to be met in friendship relationships, in romantic relationships, and perhaps you actually, when you end up doing things with other people that they want to do, you end up feeling resentful about it, but you still go ahead and do those things with other people. Now, we'll be writing a blog post about this topic where I give lots more information and details on the subject. But generally speaking, a lack of boundaries, or if you find it less easy to enforce your boundaries, can be traced back to childhood experiences that you had in your childhood, where perhaps you were under the impression, or your life experiences as a child led you to believe that only by doing things in a certain way, only by doing things exactly the way your caretakers or your caregivers wanted you to do them, would equate to being loved. Then that habitual behaviour follows you through to adulthood, and you replicate that behaviour in your adult relationships, whether they're friendship relationships or romantic relationships, work relationships, whatever the case may be. But you see, the thing is, in adulthood, things work very, very differently. So you're going to not be getting the same responses, and also that sort of behaviour, people pleasing in a way and doing things that other people want to do, can actually lead you or end up with you being hurt, and then, like I said, perhaps feeling resentful about it. So what boundaries are is you saying categorically, whether it's through your actions, whether it's through your words, that this is what's okay with me and this is what is not okay with me. And that is basically what a boundary is. Now, boundaries are crucial in any relationship that you have, and they go hand in hand with knowing yourself and self-worth and self-love. It's your responsibility to enforce your boundaries, so it's important that you get to understand and have some awareness of what those boundaries are, so that you can actually then enforce them and start making positive changes in your life. So it's really important that you start to get to know yourself better and understand what your triggers are for perhaps when you're in a social situation or in a relationship situation and you start feeling bad. What are those triggers? What are those things that are happening or have happened? Can you identify some of those things, some of those areas where perhaps you feel that you are violated, but you're not perhaps doing anything about it, you're not speaking up, you're not stepping up and saying, this is what is okay with me and this is what is not okay with me. So it's about identifying what those things are where your boundaries are being violated. So it's important to learn how to say no. Okay, no can be a complete sentence, or you can explain why something is okay with you or why something is not okay with you. But it is important that you start learning to say no. And it's important that you start, like I said, learning to understand what those boundaries are within yourself. And to do this, you can do things like, when you do feel triggered, our emotions are a great way of assisting us in telling us when a boundary has been violated. When you feel upset, when you feel angry, when you feel annoyed, a good way of coming to a greater understanding and a greater awareness of yourself is perhaps journaling, or seeking help from a coach to help you through what it is that you're going through, or to help you find some resolution as to what these issues within this boundary problem that you're having are, and so that they can assist you in having a greater awareness of the problem, and also assist you in actually finding a solution to that problem. So, but understanding what your own personal boundaries are, and then starting to say no, learning how to say no, and enforcing those boundaries and saying, this is what's okay with me, and this is what is not okay with me. So it's important that you be gentle with yourself. You know, if this is something that is very new to you, and obviously, you know, Michelle, you've asked the question, so perhaps something that is going to be new to you, a new concept, new ideas for you. So it's important that you take baby steps, you know, give yourself some time to basically build that self-awareness, but do start enforcing those boundaries. And it will take you stepping outside of your comfort zone, but it will be worth it, because you'll feel better and you'll feel more in control of your own life. So do give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video, and subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications so that you don't miss any of my videos. And I hope this has helped, and I'll speak to you again really soon. Bye for now.